Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me again. I've got another little video I wanted to do. I just wanted to wish y'all a happy New Year. And I'm here in Quartzsite, Arizona. I'm at a gem show, so I did get the $600 stimulus. Um, Luckily, I was able to be in a place where I could actually invest it to to make me money in the future. And I invested in more gemstones and some space glass multiplied. That's a different story. Anyways, so today's video is a production, or not a production, is an idea, a prediction, if you would, about what's going to happen here in 2021, especially with the current mass switchover of our government to the Democratic Party, aka to me, the Socialist Communist Party. So, that being said, so the first thing I think is going to happen is we're going to see changes in the educational system. Where we were once studying for tests, and our kids, your kids, because I don't have any, but your kids were studying for tests, and the children, if anybody on, high schoolers are watching this video, were drilling for tests through the No Child Left Behind policy. You will continue to do so. But you can count on added curriculums and added subjects to your matter to your educational standards. So those predictions, really, my buddy Wolf just got in the car. My predictions for that are going to start with the schooling. You're going to see more and more what some of us would consider questionable content being loaded into the schools. Like they're going to push, and don't get me wrong, this isn't any kind of homophobic or transphobic stuff. Don't get me wrong, so don't take it that way, please. But they're going to put more LGBTQ curriculum within the studies, and that's okay in its own self. But I have my feelings, and I'm tolerant. But I have my feelings that stuff needs to be kept away from our children until they're old enough to be able to mentally handle it, And they're talking about, California, they teach fourth graders about like transitions and sexual reassignment surgeries. And that's just too young to be thinking about that kind of shit. Anyways, whole completely different story. But that's where it's going to begin. It's going to begin with a big left push to the school districts and to the schools. They're going to start teaching more controversial stuff that people like you and I, most people that watch my videos, would consider controversial. Again, no hate on anybody here. We're living in the United States of America. You have the right to do what you want to do. I just don't think that sometimes some of what we want to do should be shoved in schools. I love to smoke fucking pot. Do I think that we should sit there and have classes on how to take bong hits and grow marijuana? Well, yes, I do. Okay? But is it going to happen? No. And why? Because people don't want it to happen who are running the show. And these Democrats, well, that's part of their takeover, and part of their agenda is to push that LGBTQ to unsuspecting kids and confuse young adults and men and women of this country who really don't know what's going on. And it's kind of like religion. They reach up and they grasp for something that they can even slightly identify with, and it becomes familiar. Then they build the community around it. And while that's perfectly okay, it doesn't need to be pushed on children in fourth grade. I digress. So after the schooling, the next thing we're going to see is a social structure change. We're going to see definitely the defunding of the police. We're going to see a rise in violent crime, a rise in property crimes. We're also going to see a rise in people defending their homes and themselves going to prison. We're going to see a rise in people who stand up, especially using firearms. We're going to see those people transitioning to prison more so than being held, as defenders of their life, liberty, and their property and belongings and themselves. So we can expect to see the laws change, the self-defense laws to change to where, it's going to be soon, it's going to be illegal to defend yourself. So if somebody comes in your home and you, even if they try to attack you and you don't run away and call the police, you're going to be held liable for anything that happens after that. Remember, the criminal doesn't give a shit about that. He's already in your fucking home. He or she already knows what they're doing. But now you're going to be held liable for them, just like in California. So, if I break into your house and I break my back falling through your skylight, I could sue you Anyway, in California, there's been multiple cases where burglars have hurt themselves grievously, entering private homes and residences and even commercial buildings, and sued the business owner or the homeowner and have won. Like, they're in prison, mind you, because they still got convicted criminally for what they did, but they won a fucking injury lawsuit. Only California, only maybe a couple other states, but that's California shit. That's what we're about to see. We're about to see a big transition into what we see as I refer to as the state of California. And I'm from California, all right? I watched that shit change. I watched it go from a beautiful, amazing fucking place to a shithole. A liberal shithole that's so liberal that it just allows people to take shits in public, on the sidewalk, with no kind of repercussion or no kind of... I mean, wouldn't it be easier to install porta potties, in a few random places in town just to clean this shit up? But they don't do it, okay? Anyway, so we're going to see more liberal cities pop up. We're going to see more crime. We're going to see more people in jail. And then we're going to see a no bail system. And that no bail system's basically going to say, oh, you're poor, you don't live here, or you're poor and you live a county away. Okay, no bail for you. Oh, you're rich. You have a home. You have a job. You're a member of the community. You can get released. That's where that no bail thing comes into play. A lot of people are like, oh my God, no cash bail. Cool. It's a great strive for America. No, not at all. Because when any colored individual walks in there, if they have no residence, or if they're floating, or if they're homeless, or even if they don't have their names on a rent application, they got to start to define lines. I've looked into this. If you don't have your name on a lease or the rental application, you can't claim that as your residence. So anybody without a residence is going to be considered a flight risk. So anybody who doesn't have a house in their name who goes to jail in the state of California at this point with the no bail system will find themselves sitting in jail like they probably normally would, but this time without any hope of being released until they come up in front of a judge, which could take a long fucking time at this point. You also don't realize that the no bail system is going to push back judgments and judgments and judgments. People are going to end up getting released on technicalities. It's a fucked off system. It's a last ditch of effort to save a system that generates revenue through crime. And those criminals are taken. And it's not just crime, you guys. Okay, the prison system in America is designed to put any kind of anything down, okay? So you have black revolutionaries, you have white revolutionaries, and I'm not talking about white supremacists. That's fucking, fuck that shit. I'm talking about true revolutionaries of humanity. They come in all shades, fellas and ladies, all shades. It's used to silence political dissent, prison. It's used to keep a people, not a race, but a people, the American people, down and in the dumps and down low. And the rich get richer and the poor, well, they do the time. You ever see a rich man in prison? Very few. I've been to prison, okay? I saw some people in there that had money, but no rich people. All the rich people, they go to fucking Club Fed, man. All right? The state's prison systems and even most of the federal prison systems are geared towards taking in poverty-stricken people. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Canadian, Aboriginal, you name it. We're all victims of that system of oppression. That's what needs to change. We need to no longer, quit scratching. We need to no longer, we need to no longer use prison as a means, especially as a means for income. Especially as a means for income. What's up? Tom. It's Wolf again. Especially as a means for income for the state or the federal government, local governments, municipalities, because what happens is when they start running out of money, what do? Increase policing, increase the court dockets, increase all of that, because at the end of every fiscal year, they bill the federal government, in theory, and in coincidence with the rising amount of crime we see. They take the numbers that they have this year along with the projections, and they make a number and they apply that to the federal government. And the federal government usually cuts a couple off the top and gives it to them. But the more people they have in prison every year over the last year, or in jails, county jails, equals more income, more return for said county or municipality. Okay, so it's in the best interest of the municipality, of the state, of the county, to have as many people in their county jails and in their prisons as possible, because it generates revenue, guaranteed income that the county could use. Okay? And when they take that income, it goes right back to the police department. Okay? It goes to the courts. It goes to build bigger jails. Okay? And then they take the rest of that and they apply it to the community, to the roads and stuff. Now don't get me wrong. Your tickets, your traffic tickets and stuff like that are divvied up. Some of it goes to the popo. Some of it goes to the city municipalities to keep the streets and shit and the infrastructure going. I do know this. But far a majority of it, of the locked up part of it, the actual criminal aspects of it, not little municipality code violations or even like low-end misdemeanors, infractions. I'm talking about the actual criminal aspect of things. Some of the crimes which are really not that big of a fucking deal, people go to jail and the county generates income from. They get revenue, they get money from it. And I've already kind of explained a little bit how. I'm going to explain to you another one too that is prevalently used. It's very hard to find the research of this. The only reason I know is I watched it in action. And I was able to do some number juggling by reading how many, because it was my county jail, which is like this big. They want to build a bigger one because the sheriff complains they can't house misdemeanors, which means they can't apply to the federal government for more funding to hold misdemeanors along with their felonies, which is fucking good. Misdemeanor crime, nonviolent crime should not be penalized by fucking going behind bars unless you break into someone's home. You know what I mean? Or steal their car or something. Then you should go to jail. But everything else that does not involve a direct action against somebody else, notwithstanding selling drugs and shit, fuck that. Fuck you if you sell fucking hard drugs. You're a piece of crap. You're part of the reason why our society is where it's at, dude. But I'm talking about non-fucking interaction, truly victimless crimes. Those don't need to be in jail. You know what I mean? But they do. They put them in there because of the income. Anyways, I'm starting to get off track. So it's called the ghost bed. And what the ghost bed consists of is putting down, documenting that this one bed. Oh, all right. Let me start at the beginning. So you get a guy that goes to jail. Okay. He gets, let's say, 90 days. All right. He gets 90 days. In most states, you do 80% of your time, okay? But in a lot of states as well, there's half time. And in a couple states like California is actually getting ready to do third time because they're so overcrowded. They could still keep the prison ball rolling, yet still generate revenue and income for those fools being out. But that's different. I'm talking about the ghost bed. So let's say I go to jail for 90 days, okay? I do 45 or 60 on the 90, correct? Okay, then I'm released. When you're released early, a lot of people don't know this. You are technically still in jail for that short period of time that you're out. So like if you got released on 60 days on a 90 or 45 on a 90, the remainder of that time up until that 90 days, you are technically still in custody. And you can look at the bylaws if you don't believe me. That's why they can charge you with other, like if you break the law intently in that period of time. And in some states, like California and stuff, they will enhance you because technically you are still in custody. And some states have even gone so far to charging them with crimes. Like they get caught on the street with drugs, charging them with possession within a custodial something. I forget exactly the wording of it, which basically says that they're still in possession of the county when they're out on the street, if they're within that time frame of when they got out on the good time and the end of their actual sentence, okay? Again, I'm kind of getting back out, but I'm just to give you a broad idea. While I went home on 45 or 60 days, or still those number of days, remember we talked about that, you're still in custody, okay? And on the paper and on the books and for the money aspects, you are still in custody, right? Okay. So now someone else breaks the law. That bed that you were in is occupied, even though technically you're still in it. It's your ghost. So now they have somebody else come in and fill that bed. Okay? They're getting paid for you still for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes even in a case, a month and a half. Okay? They're still getting paid for you to be in this bed, even though it's just your ghost. This newcomer, he pops in. Now, he's documented as being in that bed physically, okay? And this is all legal. This is all how it's written, physically. Now the county is claiming that there's two people in the same bed. Therefore, each bed actually gets, at this point, is getting double the income, okay? Now, this guy, okay, remember, I have like 45 days left. This guy, he gets 30 days. You do 15 on 30, okay? All right, and even though they're not in the same exact beds, the way that it all rotates around in a mass element works out to basically how I'm describing it. So now I'm gone. My ghost is there. They're getting paid for my ghost. They're getting paid for the physical presence of this man who just got 30 days. 2 weeks later, still leaving 20 days? No, 40 days. 45. I suck at math, guys. Just don't make fun of me, please. 45. So I still have 45 days left. He does that. So 2 weeks later, so minus that would be what, 35 days, 37 days. No, 37 days. Good job. 32 days, 32 days. Okay, so 32 days later, my ghost is gone. However, within that time frame, this guy, 2 weeks later, he still has 2 weeks to do on his sentence, even though he floats away. Another guy comes in. I still have like a week left to do. He still has 2 weeks left to do, and this guy now just got sentenced to 6 months, so he's in for 180 days. So now they have 3 different people that are, 2 of which are gone, but are still technically in custody, generating revenue on a single bed that still has a beating heart. So each bed in a county jail can productively, if they keep their jail packed, they have to keep them packed, rotating in and out like it's called hot bunking. They call it hot bunking, all right? Literally, when someone goes out, you go in. Their bunk is still warm. It's called hot bunking. If they can keep hot bunking, they can keep those jails as full as possible, they can write that scam off for as many beds that are in their jail. So take LA, for instance. I believe they have around 6,000 beds. So at any given time, they're claiming to have 9,000 inmates, 10,000 inmates within that facility that can only actually hold 6,000. Okay, does that make sense? So that needs to change. You want policing to change. You want the way the cops treat us, the way the cops treat black people, the way the cops treat white people, poor people, Mexican people. It don't matter. The cops are the enemy of us all, you guys. And until we put aside our fucking differences of the skin and just get rid of racism, we're still going to be continued to be oppressed by that system. The only way for that system to change is to change the cops' fucking mission. Make them going from money making to keeping the peace. Law enforcement to peacekeepers or peace officers. You remember the transition into law enforcement from peace officers? We need to go back to that. We need to cut out a shit ton of laws that do nothing but generate revenue on the backs of the fucking people. Police officers should not be making traffic stops. Only felony traffic stops. Okay? They need guys out there that are unarmed, that are doing traffic duties, keeping us safe, not chasing us down, pulling us over. Pulling us over and saying, sir, you were doing 105 in a 70 miles an hour zone. I'm going to have to give you a citation. Okay? And if there's any violence to those unarmed peace officers, the fucking strictest and harshest punishment, unarmed, you heard me correctly, the strictest, harshest punishments should be instilled. Now, those same peace officers do have weapons in their vehicle, but no sidearm on them. They're not going to approach the vehicle armed. The next step would be to actually take the justice system and to punish those who hurt those particular officers very deeply, okay? It's no longer a money system. We need to bring back fucking the gold standard in this country. We need to lax the laws a little bit with starting businesses. They've got it so fucking cornered up and so boxed up that the average Joe, man, it's hard to start a business. Oh, there's a lot of people out there that would start a business. There's a lot of people that would right now. I would. I've got the material right now to open up a small gem store. You damn your ass I would. But can I? No, it costs too much money. And the permits, and this, and the licensing. It's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. And by them doing that, it's keeping business in the upper echelons of our fucking society and keeping the poverty rates high. And that all boils down to keeping the poverty rates high, because with a high poverty rate, you have a high crime rate, because people who have nothing to fucking lose. So they're going to go out there and they're going to get on drugs, or they're going to go out there and commit crimes. They're going to go out there and become gangsters and sell drugs. They're going to go out there and steal. And what is the end result of that 98% of the time, 99% of the time, except for a few people who have stopped? It's prison and jail. Do you see where I'm coming from? We need to change the system, my friends, to benefit everybody, and not fucking socialists and capitalists like what the fucking Democrats are trying to do, because that's all part of it. We can continue to expect to see harsher laws. They say they're going to unwrite harsher laws. The Democrats traditionally have written the harshest laws over the Republicans. Now, don't get me wrong, the Republicans have written their fair share of nasty fucking laws. But fucking Joe Biden himself was in the 1994 crime initiative that imposed mandatory minimums on fucking reoffending drug dealers, mandatory minimums on people suspected of gang crimes, mandatory minimums of people that have already served prison sentences and got out and committed another crime. So far under our prison system, our justice system, offenders are 92% more likely to reoffend, and end up right back in prison. 92%, guys, gals, come on. That's ridiculous. Why? Because it's designed that way. Probation, designed to fail. Parole, designed to fail. They want you until your number runs out. The problem is most people committed a second crime. Now that you're a convict, that second crime you commit may not be a big deal, but if it's felony, guess who's going back to prison again? You, me, whoever. So the only way to stay out of prison is to quit committing crimes. And a lot of people, I'm not trying to dog them, not trying to bag on them, it's simply their economic structure. A lot of people don't have the ability to kind of do what I got lucky to do. I consider myself pretty fucking blessed that I didn't have, that I never got into drugs, okay? I consider myself really blessed that I never started out drinking, partying with everybody else, all right? I consider myself blessed that I got into the gemstones, you know? I love this shit. I've got space glass. Mine's out there in my case. I'm not going to go get it. But I got, man, who knows how long this glassine meteor and where this shit right here, this moldavite, where it was. You know what I mean? This could have been floating anywhere in the world, and I'm totally getting off topic. Fucking fat fucking crystal that I dug, dude, in fucking Arizona. Look at that shit. Why wouldn't you want to do that? I got lucky enough to have the sense and not the sense, man, that's a bad word for it. I got lucky enough to have the desire and have I've always been told that I was smart. Not saying that I'm smarter than anybody. I'm not better than anybody. Don't think that. I'm not like that. Okay, I'm no better than anybody else who's made wise decisions. If you've made poor decisions in your life, we all have. If you continue to make poor decisions, I'm not better than you. I just chose better than you. All right? And choice, that's what it's all about, right? So no, I don't judge anybody else, and I don't consider myself better. But I think my stars that I was intelligent enough to not drink and get into drugs. That I was intelligent enough to grasp this gemstone thing and really run with it. I'm fucking good. I will toot my horn. I'm good at what I do. I suck at saving. God, I suck ass at saving. I'm so bad with saving, dude. I am not a saver. I am a fucking compulsory spender because I've lived my life in poverty. Right now, I can name probably $3,000 worth of things that I really need, that I could use to try to better myself. I need a new transmission. Don't need a new transmission, but I need another. I could use a monster transmission because I want to start a peanut cart, okay? I'm going to keep those details to myself because it is a good idea and it will make a lot of money, and I don't trust you motherfuckers to steal my shit. That's actually not personal, okay? Anybody could watch this, and it could be some dude with a lot of money who goes, damn, that's a really fucking amazing idea. Next thing you know, I see my idea going down the road, and I can't do a damn thing about it. So I'm not going to share that with you. Anyways, but I need a new transmission. I want to get a small trailer, not a big one, just fucking 10 foot by fucking 5 foot utility trailer, 5 foot by 4 foot enclosed with the doors. You know what I'm talking about. You see them all the time. One of those. Oh, I could use some new cooling fans for my fucking trucks. My cooling fans are out. Lucky it's winter, but here shortly I'm going to have to fucking put new cooling fans. There's a couple $100. Gone. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I could do if I had fucking $3,000. You know what I mean? $5,000. But poor people, when you have that much money come to you, it's gone. It's poof, gone. Just fucking poofed. You know, like a crackhead, man. Just poof, gone. You know? So, that being said, that's what fuels the prison industry, is the poverty levels. And the fact that everybody who's poor always needs money. I always need it. I have some. You know, I'm not broke ass. And broke ass to me means $0 in your fucking possession, okay? Most of the time, guys, I've got a few $100 here and there. You know, usually I can pull out $40-$60, which is about average. You know, so I consider myself lucky, again, that I got into the stones and that my mental acuteness that is mine, my intelligence, I have that. I have a photographic memory for shit that I really get into. And I really got into stones, like South Park and shit. It's fucking, I could do South Park and all the stupid cartoons. I mean, I'm good with that shit, too. Like, name that tune. What's that TV show? I could do it. But I also luckily got into stones to the point where I paid enough attention and cataloged enough away to where I know what I'm talking about. You know, I dig the motherfuckers up. I can look at a mountain and be like, yeah, man, motherfucker over there. It's got some iron, some manganese. It's in a tertiary formation of some volcanic action over there. You know what? I do see some granite pegmatite hanging out in there. We are just outside of the pegmatite band. And actually, there's a mountain over there that I'm doing this on. So there could be, doubtful, but maybe real shitty formed smoky quartz or tourmaline or whatever else forms in the pegmatites. You know, there's a whole list of shit. You know, fucking kunzite, apatite, smoky quartz, clear quartz, tourmalines of all kinds, aquamarines. What else? Morganite, heliodor, which is yellow beryl. What else? I mean, a bunch of shit forms in the pegmatites. So, you know, blue tourmaline, which I'm actually going to be going. When I do, I'll put up some video of me hunting in the pegmatites. I'm not sure if YouTube's going to allow this video, but I'm at 27 minutes, so I'm going to cut it down to the thing. The rest of my predictions are we're going to see a rise in crime because we're going to see a change in the structure of the law, which is going to look like it's benefiting everybody, but in fact put more people behind bars. Okay? The defunding of the police department is going to come at a great cost of the personal security of us as Americans. By 2022, end of 2022, early 2023, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, if Joe Biden's still alive, will have imposed strict and harsh gun laws, putting a lot of legal firearm owners in jail or at the risk of being in jail. You turn them in or you go to jail. We won't quite see door-to-door sales. They're going to restrict the ammunition. They're going to fucking make laws to buying ammunition. You're going to have to sign papers and provide photo ID and do a background check on the spot just for ammunition. Okay? It's going to get to that point. We're going to see an increase in what we would call insurgency. In the Corps, we would call it insurgency. In anybody's military, it would be insurgents. We're going to see a lot of insurgency because a lot of people do not agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to go start bombing shit, but we will see insurgency, and then they will crack down upon us. And then, in about 2 years from now, you all fucking dumbasses who voted for Biden and fucking voted these dumbasses in the office are really going to see the impact of what you've done. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't. I mean, he's a madman. He's fucking arrogant. He's egotistical. He's a piece of shit. He's the kind of guy that would piss against a wall 2 feet from where you were on fire, all right? I don't like the man. But I've come to realize that he legitimately is the last hope for this country. And here just shortly, he's going to be gone. And I don't think that people realize the repercussions of what just happened. We just changed our entire governmental structure. And it's all going to be a fucking maskirovka is what the Russians call it. Maskirovka. Okay? Mask. You're wearing a mask. You know? Like, we are doing maskirovka to the American people. It's just all a farce. And here soon, y'all going to see it. Anyways, I wish you the best. Buy guns, buy ammo. Watch out for the cops. And don't be afraid to stand up for your fucking property and your fucking lives and your fucking friends. If they start instituting that, you don't vote for that shit. Tell your friends. I did this. This is fucking January 5th, 2021. Shasta's predictions. Fucked up schools. Far left government. More weird shipping put into our schools. A basic confiscation and or laws making possession of certain firearms. Felonies. More prisons. More crime. More police. In the form of not police. You'll see. You'll see. Best to y'all.